When long-term relationship ends, women realize that they've got to start taking better care of themselves, but doing that can feel really awkward and a bit forced and sometimes even pointless. And of course, that can leave us thinking like there's something wrong with us. We're not doing self-care properly. In a minute, I want to talk to you about why we have that reaction and why it makes sense, especially if we've been putting other people first for a long time, and what self-care actually looks like when you're not used to doing it. So when the long-term relationship is over, especially one where you carried a lot of the load, self-care probably meant coping. You got on with things, you prioritized everybody in the family, you adjusted, you made things work. And when the relationship comes to an end, people start to tell you, hey, you better start doing more self-care. And that can be really irritating and a bit hollow. You don't need another bubble bath, and you don't need life to be some sort of petty and money. You just need to be able to get through the heaviness of what's going on. Underneath this is something really quiet, and it's about that practice of asking yourself, what do I need? Because you probably have not asked yourself that for a really long time. Here's what matters, right? Self-abandonment usually doesn't happen after one big moment. It happens in tiny little incremental ways every single day. You notice you're exhausted, but you keep going anyway. You feel upset, but you tell yourself it's not worth making a fuss about. You sense that something isn't right, but you push it down and you keep moving forward. And over time, all of those moments add up. You stop checking in with yourself. You stop responding to yourself, so that when the relationship ends and the noise stops, you don't automatically know how to look after yourself anymore. It's not because you don't care about yourself, but it's because you spent so long overriding what you need. And this matters because self-care after heartbreak isn't about doing more, because to be honest, you probably don't have the bandwidth for that. It's about stopping the quiet ways that you stepped away from yourself for a long, long time. This is where self-care becomes something really different. It's not about improving yourself. It's not about fixing things. It's not about becoming a better version of yourself. It's about noticing when you disappeared and choosing not to keep doing that. This isn't how self-care starts, okay, to feel really normal and real and a part of your life. It's about turning things around and getting things on track. So the first thing we do here is notice when we're overriding ourselves. When you're tired, but you keep pushing through. When you're upset, but you minimize it. When you say yes, when you actually mean no because you're exhausted. It's those moments that we start to notice. Noticing them is the first step. What's the second step? Well, it's responding in a different kind of way. When you're hungry, eat something. When you're tired, have a rest. Yes, I get it. If you've got tons of kids running around and it's busy, that might be hard. Try and factor it in. Step away when something feels like it's too much. Ask for help if you need it. You don't need to explain to anybody. You don't need to tell anybody why. You just have to take care of yourself. The next thing, and the final thing I'm going to talk about here, is stop treating your needs like they're a problem that you have to justify. You don't need to earn the right to take care of yourself. You don't need a reason to do that. You are doing what is best for you because that is going to help you get through this. It prevents resentment and burnout, which are inevitable if you don't do this. If this is landing for you and you're like, yep, that's me, and you notice yourself pushing through when something is really hard, what's something that you want to stop doing? What's a small achievable thing that you could do? And I'd love you to share that with me down in the comments if you'd like to. In the meantime, what I'd suggest to you is check out some of my videos here. I'll put a couple up that might be helpful and help you get started in that process. Of course, there are lots of videos up in my playlists that are there to help you go through other stages that you might be going through. And if you have questions about how to do self-care and not abandon yourself, join me for one of my weekly lives. I answer your questions there and you can ask me anything. If that's all too much and you're like, Debbie, do you know what? Nope, I can't do any of that. I do offer one-on-one sessions and I'll put the link for those down in the description of this video. So take a look there if you're looking for some private help. In the meantime, self-care is really about taking care of you after years of self-abandonment. It's choosing to stay with yourself when it would be easier probably to tune out. You can do that one meal, one rest, one no, or one pause at a time. This isn't about doing anything large. It's about tiny little achievable things that you can do every single day. And, I want you to know that this period of time is going to pass. You just need to keep hanging in there. In the meantime, take the very best care of yourself, and I hope to see you again on my channel. Take care.